in science. For them, science is the ultimate test. They tell me, Brother Zakir, you prove to me the existence of God through science and we believe in it. Most of the atheists, for them, science is ultimate. Because today is the age of science and technology. So inshallah, in the next part of my speech, I will prove to the scientific atheist, an atheist who believes in science, the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the help of the Quran as well as modern science. The first question I'll ask an atheist who believes science is ultimate, I'll ask him that if an equipment is brought in front of you, if an equipment who no one in the world has ever seen, who no one knows about it, if it's brought in front of the atheist and the question is asked that who will be able to tell you the mechanism, who is the first person who will be able to tell you the mechanism of this equipment who no one has seen before? Can anyone guess that if you ask an atheist that who will be the first person who will be able to tell you the mechanism of an equipment, of a machine who no one in the world has ever seen? Who will be the first person? Can you guess? Can anyone guess? Manufacturer, very good. MashaAllah, correct answer. Any other answer?
Designer.
Creator, very good. MashaAllah. People of Colombo intelligent. Maker, inventor, producer. But whenever you ask any atheist that who is the first person who will be able to tell you the mechanism of an equipment who no one in the world has seen, and the answer will be manufacturer, creator, inventor, maker, producer, somewhat similar, just keep it at the back of your mind. The first person who will be able to tell you the mechanism of any equipment who no one else knows is the manufacturer, the creator, the inventor, the maker, the producer. The second person would be whoever the inventor, manufacturer, creator has told. But the first person is the creator, inventor, maker, manufacturer, somewhat similar. Keep it at the back of your mind. The next question I'll ask is this. How did a universe come into existence? That initially there was one primary nebula. Our whole universe was one primary nebula. Then there was a secondary separation. There was the Big Bang, which gave rise to galaxies, the stars, the planets, the sun, the moon, and the earth on which we live. When you ask this atheist, that when did you come to know about this? We will tell you, this was first told and discovered by a couple of scientists in the early part of the 1970s, for which they got the Nobel Prize. About 40 years back, the group of scientists who told the world how did the universe come to existence, and they called it the Big Bang. I will tell you this, what you say you have come to know 40 years back, and what you call the Big Bang is already mentioned in the book which I read, the glorious Quran. It's mentioned 1400 years ago in Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yaral lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see, anna samawati wal arda, kana taratkan saknama, that the heaven and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. What you're talking about the Big Bang, the creation of the universe, which you came to know 40 years back, is already mentioned in this book, the glorious Quran, 1400 years ago. Who could have mentioned that? Maybe someone wrote, maybe it's a fluke, maybe it's a guesswork. No problem. Don't argue with him. Continue. What is the shape of this earth on which we live. So they just will tell you that previously we human beings, we thought that the world was flat. And we were afraid to venture too far lest we would follow. It was in 1577 when Sir Francis Drake, he sailed around the earth and he proved that the earth was spherical. So the atheists will tell you, the first time we came to know that the earth is spherical is in 1577. You tell him that the glorious Quran mentions 1400 years ago. It says in Surah Zumar, chapter 39, verse number 21, Alam tara anna Allah yuliju layli fil nahar, yuliju nahara fil layl. It's He who merges the night into the day and merges the day into the night. Merging is a gradual and slow process. The night slowly and gradually merges into the day, and the day slowly and gradually merges into the night. If the earth was flat, it would have been a sudden change. The slow change and a gradual change of night into the day and day into the night proves that the world is spherical. A similar message is given in the glorious Quran. In Surah Az-Zumar, chapter 39, verse number 5. The earlier message was Surah Al-Quran, chapter 31, verse number 29. Here Quran says in Surah Az-Zumar, chapter 39, verse number 5, that it is He who coils the night unto the day and coils or overlaps the day unto the night. The Arabic word used here is kawara, which means coiling or overlapping. How a turban is overlapped or coiled around the head. So the Quran says that the night coils and overlaps over the day, and the day coils or overlaps over the night. This coiling and overlapping of the night into the day and the day into the night is only possible if the shape of the earth was spherical. It was not possible if it was flat. Quran further says in Surah Naziat, chapter 79, verse number 30, وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. And thereafter we have made the earth egg-shaped. One of the meaning of Daha is an expanse, and the earth is an expanse. The other meaning of Daha is derived from the Arabic word dunya, which means an egg. And we know today that the world is not completely round like a ball. It is cut from the pole. It is geospherical in shape. And the Daha does not refer to a normal egg. It specifically refers to the egg of an ostrich. And if we analyze the shape of an egg of an ostrich, that too is geospherical in shape. Imagine, the Quran mentions 1400 years ago that the world is not round. It specifically mentions it is geospherical in shape. Well, this is what we came to know in 1577 by a person sailing around the earth. The Quran goes in more detail and says that the earth is geospherical in shape 1400 years ago. Who could have mentioned this in the Quran? Well, they just may say, your Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he may be an intelligent man. You know, maybe that's why. Don't argue. Don't argue with him. You ask the atheist that the light of the moon, is it its own light or its reflected light? So the atheist will tell you that previously we human beings thought the light of the moon was its own light. Recently, 200 years back, 300 years back, we came to know that the light of the moon is not its own light, but it's a reflected light. I will tell you that what you came to know recently, 200, 300 years back, is already mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago. The Quran says in Surah Furqan, chapter 25, verse 61, that blessed is he who has made the constellations in the sky, placed there in the sun, having its own light, and the moon having reflected a borrowed light. The Quran refers to the sun as Shams, and his light is always described as Siraj, Bahaj Wadiyya, meaning a blazing torch, a lamp or a shining glory. And the sun is referred in the Quran as Qamar, and its light is always described as Munir or Noor, meaning borrowed light or reflected light. And this message, besides Surah Furqan chapter 25 verse number 61, is also mentioned in Surah Yunus chapter number 10 verse number 5. as well as Surah Nahl chapter number 16 verse 15, that, and in Surah Nuh chapter 71 verse number 14 and 15, that the light of the moon is a borrowed light or reflected light. Who would have mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago that the light of the moon is not its own light, but it's a reflected or borrowed light? So the atheists will give a pause. But they say, maybe, you know, your prophet, Muhammad, please be upon it. Maybe you're super intelligent. I will atheist. That when I was in school, I passed my standard 10 in 1982. I had learned in science and geography that the sun, it revolved in the universe, but it did not rotate about its own axis.